Well, good morning. It's Brian with Live Well. I wanted to introduce you folks to Sean Lyons. He's with Primary Residential Mortgage, one of the top lenders here in the Middle Tennessee area. And today we're going to be talking with you about cryptocurrency, what it may be used for, some brief explanations of it, and how it can tie into real estate. I'll let you kind of take it from there and introduce yourself, Sean.
Yeah, so my name is Sean Lyons, and I'm a mortgage lender. I also teach continuing education on cryptocurrency, blockchain, and real estate. We've got some experience with buying homes with Bitcoin, and then using cryptocurrency as down payment money. So a lot of people haven't done that or don't know how to do that yet. So we're just kind of getting the message out there to let people know that it can be done and how to do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
He's one of the few lenders I've seen in our area that's actually facilitated a real estate transaction for cryptocurrency. They bought it in Bitcoin, correct?
Right, that's correct. Mm-hmm.
If you could briefly explain what cryptocurrency is in the simplest terms.
It's all it is software. It's software to help make solutions for things that we already do to make them better. And one is payment systems, okay? And that's where Bitcoin, which was, one of the original cryptocurrencies, came into place. And that's what brings you into blockchain. So what the blockchain is just a digital ledger, and it takes information, and then you have decentralized nodes that verify that information and then lock it together, which makes it immutable. Somebody can't go back in, and locking them into the blockchain and all these different people that are verifying these transactions don't know each other. So if you're like me, every other day you're getting an email or you're getting something in the mail at your home where your information was compromised because a company was hacked who's holding our data.
Sure.
Well, they're centralized because they have one point of contact, and once the hacker gets in there, they just go into that one point, and then everything's theirs. With the decentralized, the more nodes you have, the more secure the network is, unless they have what's called a 51 attack. That's where you'd have to conspire to have 51% of the nodes decide to change the blockchain to unlock it.
So where do you think crypto is becoming more relevant in today's economy?
Yeah, so obviously, the obvious thing is payments. I'll give you an example, okay, for the speed and the ease. So we had a client that we closed last week, okay? She had to liquidate some money out of her 401k plan, okay? And then they had to send her that money. Then she had to go ahead and get it in her bank account, get it liquid, and get it to the title company. Then, of course, she had to, in this case, go to Bank of America, because if she tried to put it in her account, they were going to put a hold on it because her account isn't used to seeing that much money. So she had to go to Bank of America, convert it to cash, then go into her bank account and put it in there, then wire it to the title company. Well, this whole process took 2.5 weeks, and she had to make a lot of phone calls and a lot of stress to get that done. Conversely, okay, the day before her closing, I'm in my office at 7 o'clock. I had an 8 o'clock meeting. I go into one of my investments that I have and notice we got a God candle. I was up 380% in one day. A God candle's on the charts,
Okay.
and it just jumps like right straight up.
Like a spike.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing to, okay. Gotcha.
And so I immediately saw that, and I'm like, that's my strike point of where I want to sell this, and it happened in a day. So I jump in my car, drive down Main Street as fast as I can, get to my house, stiff arm my wife when she says hello, get to my safe, pull out my hard wallet, plug it into my computer, transfer the money to Binance.us, went ahead and sold it, transferred the money from Binance to Coinbase, converted to cash, put it in my bank account. I did that all in 45 minutes, and then got to my 8 o'clock appointment on time.
Cryptocurrency, how do you see it changing the way people buy and sell real estate? It sounds like you can you could have money availability and movement faster, like out of your crypto wallet into your traditional bank account.
Sure.
If you want to spend it that way. But you can also, the transaction we referenced earlier, where you facilitated the deal through Bitcoin, did they purchase it directly using Bitcoin?
So that was done peer-to-peer, okay? And that's going to be a very rare occurrence in the future, okay? In the future, all the title companies will have wallets that people can go ahead and just transfer their money right into the wallet, and then the title company will go ahead and liquidate it right there, okay? Or it can be converted to a stable coin and also sent to the title company, where they can liquidate it and charge a small slippage fee for that. Because obviously there's risk if you're going peer-to-peer. when we closed that transaction, we went to a title company, but he actually texted the seller who was at another title company and transferred it to him, peer to peer. Well, technically that guy could have got up and walked out of the room,
Yeah.
but of course he would have still been on the hook legally because he had a contractual obligation, to sell the house under the terms that were agreed on.
Yeah, so the less times you can move it from one place to another, if you could just have it sent directly from, say, your crypto wallet to the title agency, you're cutting out some of the people that might.
Right, you're
Take off with it.
cutting off a lot of the friction there.
With the adoption of crypto and the acceptance of the new administration via the new economy, how can the average person use cryptocurrency in their daily life?
Well, because it's software, we actually don't want the people to know that they're actually using it in their daily life. It's just supposed to be something that's going on in the background, okay? So, for instance, let's say 20% of all alcohol in sales in Europe is fraudulent, okay? You're not getting what you think, okay? But you can download an app. So Louis Vuitton, Moet, and Hennessy, who's one of the biggest companies in the world for distribution of luxury items and also luxury wines and champagnes and stuff like that, they're using an app through VeChain, okay? And with VeChain, you can download that app, and then when you get to the restaurant and they bring you out that bottle of Mums or the Moet Chandon or the Dom Perignon, you can go ahead and scan that QR code, and on the blockchain, it'll show you where the grapes were grown, when they were picked, who picked them, how they were stored, how they were squeezed, okay, how they were fermented, how long they were fermented, where they were fermented, how they got to the, how they got transported, what temperature it was when they transported, all the way up to your table. It's called My Story. So you can see all the way, okay? Same thing in the future with medicine. Other examples of that is like sustainability. So lots of times you see like a recall for lettuce, okay? And what happens is, they go in and they just wipe out all this lettuce because they don't know exactly where it is, so they can't risk somebody getting sick from it. Well, using the farm app for VeChain, okay, the farmers can use it to track all the lettuce, so when there's an outbreak for it, they can actually pinpoint where it came from, and they don't have to waste all that food. They can just go ahead and get rid of that lettuce that was tainted, and the rest of the lettuce is fine. So the list just goes on and on. And let's talk about a sore spot here that some people may like me saying this, some people might not like me saying this, but I'll say it because it's definitely where we're going in the future, okay, is elections. To me, going to the election booth is, with the technology that we have today, is the dumbest waste of time that I could ever have, and also totally eliminates election fraud, because all you do is you go ahead and scan your eyeball, you go into your phone, it's connected to your social security number, you go ahead and you vote, that's it. Voting done, it's all on the blockchain, it's all transparent, and there's no voter fraud.
Do you think that it will replace traditional money someday? Why or why not?
That's a good question. So you got, CBDCs, which are centralized bank digital currencies, okay? And right now, 97% of every country in the world is developing them, or some of them are actually using them right now, okay? There's advantages and disadvantages of it, and also depending on what side of the aisle you're sitting on too, maybe not just politically, but socially. So with a centralized bank digital currency, the cool thing about it is it's programmable money, okay? So where you have your underground economy where people are getting paid cash, they're not paying taxes, you got people in this country illegally and stuff like that. If you have a centralized bank digital currency, it's impossible for anybody who's illegal to operate in the United States with any form of normalcy. Right. It would just be miserable to try to do that. Now, if we look back at the example of COVID-19, where they gave out all the money for stimulus and everything like that, one of the failures of that is when you do stimulus, you want to create velocity in the economy. You want people to actually spend that money to move it forward into the economy. And in a lot of cases, that didn't happen because a lot of people got money who didn't need it. So what did they do? They bought it to buy homes. They bought it to buy new cars. They bought it to invest. So it was kind of a failure. But what they can do in the future with programmable money is they can say you use it or you lose it. Okay, so we're going to give you the stimulus check, but you can save 10% of it. We're cool with that. But 90% of that you need to spend in the next 3 months.
Yeah, right.
So that's a bad thing about it. So It'll be interesting to see what happens in the future. It will happen very, very quickly. I know that they're talking about right now putting the entire government treasury spending on the blockchain, like sooner than later. So it should be interesting to see what happens. I know the current administration is against centralized bank digital currency, but at the same time down the road, they could change their minds just based upon the power of that. So we'll see what happens.
I can certainly see the good and bad. I do see the more that the technology generation progresses, they're going to be more accepting of an electronic currency. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be money going away completely, at least not for a while. I think there's going to be too many people that are going to fight that.
First stage is that you'll see is you have to have digital ID before you can roll out the electronic currency, okay? And we're seeing that in a lot of the states right now that they're doing that with electronic digital ID. So everybody's got to have that. But once you get that in place, then you can go ahead and do digital money. And then to take one step farther, after that, they're going to do social credit scores, and then you have your own individual carbon credit scores. And all that is very scary because that's very that's very utopian. So we're going to have to find that balance as far as how can we use this technology to better our lives without it controlling our lives.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's weird when you talk about
Yeah.
social credit scores. Are you know, I think of like your shirt having a QR code on it, and somebody can come up and be like, beep, oh, this guy's got a bad temper,
Yeah.
or he's done some bad things, or maybe he's a friendly guy, you know, whatever that looks like. But yeah, no, I didn't even think about that when I started, diving more into like cryptocurrency.
Right.
But when you start talking about being able to monitor all these different parts of a transaction, and then you put that into like a personal scale, and you've got the, social credit score, that takes it to a whole nother level.
Takes it to a whole nother level.
I mean, that's very interesting. We'll have to maybe do another one, another video on that
Sure,
when that starts coming around.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
I will give you a sneak preview of an example, though. So China has rolled out their centralized bank digital currency to the majority. They're not cashless yet, but to the majority of society right now. And of course, they do have social credit scores too, which if you have a bad social credit score, that limits your mobility within society. But for instance, there's a lot of videos on TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that where people in China have gone up to use their phone to buy, like, say, a water, at a vending machine. And they couldn't buy the water because they didn't have their latest COVID shot done. So they had to go get their COVID shot before it would unfreeze their funds. Wow. That's scary stuff.
Whew. It's hard to imagine something like that going on in the United States, in the freedoms that we've had in this country.
Right.
But you never know. You never know as technology progresses and society, changes. I never say never. I do have one last question.
Sure.
For the majority of people, I know you do some investing in crypto. What advice would you give to someone who wants to start investing in crypto?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I am not a financial advisor, okay? So I want to make that perfectly clear. Yes, I do invest in crypto, and I've lost a lot of money and I've made a lot of money too by trial and error and learning. My advice to anybody is to do your own research. There's resources out there such as the CoinGecko, the Coin Bureau is I've been watching since I've been doing this in 2019, and you just learn the basics that's out there. And if it seems too good to be true, it's probably not true. So that's one rule of thumb you can definitely go by.
That's really good. Yeah, so be careful, folks. Do your homework. Hope this video was helpful for you. If you need anything, or if there's anything we can do to help make your life better, make it more full, then feel free to reach out anytime. Have a great day, folks.
Thank you.